When you think about it, anxiety is really when we're unsure of what's going to happen in the future. And everybody feels anxiety on some level or another. Some feel it very intensely, others not as much. The thing is, though, we all worry about different things. One person's major anxiety is another person's minor concern. And I think one of the best ways to categorize our anxiety is actually from a psychologist in the 1940s named Abraham Maslow, who created a psychological theory known as Maslow's hierarchy of need. You're probably familiar with it. You've probably heard it before. It's usually represented as a pyramid, which is what I have here. I tried to make a cake with the different colors that are representing it up and down. I am not the best baker. I did the best job I could with it, but generally when you look at it, you'll see that they represent it with these colors, and there's 5 different levels. And the way it works is that in order to move up the pyramid, which is your goal, you need to satisfy the level down low. So the first level is survival. It's what we all have to do to get by. So that comprises air, food, water, shelter, clothing. We all need this if we're going to make it through life. And until you have that, that is your primary worry. You're not going to think about anything else. But once you have those things, this leads to the second level of the pyramid, which is called safety. And safety is defined by things like personal security, financial security, health and well-being, and having a safety net against disasters. Now, this can mean different things to different people for sure. But generally speaking, you know that you've achieved this level when you're not worried about falling back down to the first level. Now, once you have your basic needs and safety met, you can move to the third level of the pyramid, which is love and belonging. And this is where we find things like friendship, intimacy, and family. Now, the truth is, you can have friendship, intimacy, and family at the lower 2 levels. It's just that it can be really hard to focus on those things when you don't have your basic needs met or you're always worried about safety. But when you have those 2 things, well, you can nurture them. And once you've spent time working on love and belonging, that allows you to move to the next level of the pyramid, which Maslow calls esteem. Now, esteem, he really breaks that into 2 levels. So there's a lower level of esteem and a higher level of esteem. The lower level of esteem is when you're trying to garner respect from other people. You really want people to see you, and that's where you get your worth and value. And then there's the higher level of esteem where you're really working on the competencies of self-confidence and independence and freedom. You don't need anybody else to tell you that you're a good person. And then once you have those 4 levels, you can then move to the final level, which is self-actualization. This is when you are working on trying to reach your highest potential as a human being. So because you've now mastered all the previous levels, you can take your gifts and your skills and you can use them for the benefit of the world around you. Now, I'm sure you've tried to figure out exactly where you are on this scale. Everybody wants to peg themselves as high as possible. But what I think is fascinating about this is that for most of human history, human beings were at the bottom 2 levels. And this really impacted the way that our minds evolved. And so to explain to you what I mean, I want you to join me downstairs. But before I do, I want to take a little bite of this cake, tell you how it is. You can actually taste the self-actualization. Join me downstairs.